Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is October 31, 2017, and it is 12:07 a.m. in Birmingham. I have something I want to say, actually, two topics here. And I want to say up front, John McCain, I'll never call this man a traitor. And some allude to maybe he's not the man that you think he is or we think he is. But let me tell you something. I don't care what kind of man you think you are or people think you are. There's a breaking point for every person. There is. And only you know what that breaking point is. But John McCain, I call him a hero. And like Trump said, he wasn't a hero because he was a POW. He's a hero because he went. And I applaud him for that. John McCain is a hero. He returned broken up, just beat up, broke up, his shoulder, his neck, and no telling what else they did to him. And when they tortured him, but he received the status of hero when he left to go there, not when he came back. He was a hero when he left, as all our men are. When you leave here to go to war, you are a hero. That's in my book. There are some that were traitors, and one of them, you see him going through the trial right now. To me, he was a traitor. He didn't have to walk away from his team, but he did. So, Birdahl, I'm done with him. Back on John McCain. John McCain's a hero. Period. But now, John McCain, it's time for you to go home. Go home. If you have grandkids, go enjoy them. Go with your family. Go out and eat. Go to the zoo. Go somewhere. Go home. As long as you sit where you are doing what you're doing, you're hurting 330 million people. I promise you, you are hurting millions upon millions of people by doing what you're doing today. So McCain, go home. You've put your time in, go home. Sit on a porch with your wife, find a rocking chair, and then write books about your hero days. But don't continue being a hero by doing what you're doing because you're taken away from what you are. All right, and another thing, I have been doing these blogs about the blood is alive. Your brain continues to gather thoughts even after you're beheaded. And that's been proven a long time ago. What I'm alluding to here or making reference to when I say that your blood is alive, because as when Cain killed Abel, Abel's blood called out to God. His blood. When the head is severed, then the brain still has time to gather a thought. Maybe a few. We don't know how long, but I would say it could be up to 30 seconds. I would not, under any circumstances, I wouldn't even think about waiting until that time to call upon Jesus as your Lord and Savior, because if you wait till then, you have waited too late. God will hear you in death, but unless you're a person that you're going home to accept Christ, or you going to Wednesday night church to go to the altar and accept Christ, and you get killed on the way, then I think that could be a different situation, because you'll have time to gather your thoughts, even in death. But if you have no thought of Christ on your mind, not interested in coming to Christ, and you get killed, forget it. That 30 seconds is not going to buy your way into heaven. And I'm just telling you, don't wait till the last 30 seconds of your life after your head rolls off, or after a massive car wreck where you're crushed with a steering wheel, because if you didn't call on Christ up to that point and he wasn't even on your mind, then it's not likely you will during that moment. You may say, oh God, but that's, don't use that as an excuse, guys, that your blood can call out to God. And keep in mind, only God can hear it. No one else, nothing else can hear that blood. God can hear the very rocks as they cry out. God hears the different song from each and every planet, and there are trillions of them that sings a different song to them, each one of them. Each one of them has a different name, and he knows their name. Each rock on them has a different name. Everything sings to God. Even your blood and your brain thoughts after your head's severed cries out to God. But don't wait until then to try to cry out for Christ. If you knew him and already rejected him, don't wait until something stops you in your tracks. Do it tonight before that happens, if it happens tomorrow. Just don't use that as an excuse, is what I'm telling you. Please don't use that as an excuse. And again, go back to John McCain. Go home. Please go home. You go home and keep your head up. The longer you stay there, the lower your head's going to get, because you're hurting millions and millions of people. I mean, really bad. You're in the way of our country moving forward. And out of the 330 million people here, I know at least 160 to 165 million of those are leaning heavy on Donald Trump, and you're hurting that number of people. And you're hurting those who aren't leaning on Trump. You're hurting those because they're going to benefit from the things that Trump is going to do, as in the tax, taking that heavy load off of them. They're going to benefit, and they'll appreciate that later. They just don't see it now because people like you that's clouding their judgment, John McCain. Go home. And all you guys that lose your heads and your blood is on the ground, don't wait till then to call Christ, because by then you're too late. Jody Wolf, Expoz.